Yes, people. What is happening? Welcome to the Straightjacket podcast 180. And you're probably thinking, where the hell is Nurdin? But listen, people, I have no idea. Nurdin's on a space right now, and he knows the Straightjacket podcast is on right now. I'm even going to phone him now, and he's not answering people. Look, he's on a space right now. Everybody, tell him when he comes in the stream right now, we have to tell him off, people. He loves these spaces. Look. Nurdin, we're live.
I'm on 2 seconds, man.
Get off that space, man. You know, you're disrespecting the Straightjacket podcast here.
Listen, I'm on the space, but I've been chasing the fucking cats. They just run away, bro. They've run away. I've just got them back in the flat. I've been a fucking runner.
But we're here, we're live, bro. We're live. The people are waiting for you.
2 seconds, coming up, 2 seconds.
All right, he's coming in, people. You know what I mean? It's all mad, man. It's all mad. Nurdin's on the spaces. He's moving crazy. People, smash a like on the video, man. Nurdin's coming right now. The cats are crazy, man. That's what I'm saying. Today, I took a break, people. I took a break from the cats. I had enough of the cats, people. So I said to Nurdin, we're going to go, and I'm going to do it at mine, and you're going to do it here. You know what I mean? But big up to everybody who's tuning in right now. Straightjacket podcast 180. Big up to everybody. This is the 50K special, by the way, people. 50,000, you know what I mean, subscriber special. I remember one of the shows I did first was the Straightjacket podcast. That was one of the few shows I started off. So it's only right, you know what I mean, that we kind of, you know, start the 50K subscriber by coming on here. Big up to everybody who's tuning in. Listen, we've got a lot to talk about, man. I'm worried about the fan base. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. A lot of people disrespecting Ralph Rangnick. There's a lot of people who are forgetting, you know, the kind of, you know, mess he came in with. It's almost as if, what did Rangnick do? You know what I mean? What results did he do? What did he bring to the football club? What is he ever gonna do? What's his expertise? There's a lot of people who have short memory. They really, really have short memory. And for me today, the Straightjacket podcast is the first part where we try and educate the people. We try and give it real facts. We don't come in here and just say to you, oh, well, John Milton's going to do a brilliant job and Richard Arnold in his new role is going to do another job and the club is going to get back to where it belongs. No, that's not what's going to happen, people. It's the same old cycle again. For me, this has got nothing to do with Ten Hag, but it's got a lot to do with the board. They hired him on a consultative basis for 2-year contract. Why on earth do you give a man 2-year contract and then when another manager comes in and says, you know what, scrap the plans? What was it? Who came in and interfered? Who didn't like the way Ralph Rangnick was doing things? We have to know, people. There has to be a reason. I hope Ralph Rangnick comes in here and actually exposes everything and says, you know what, I can't be bothered with you lot, so I'm going to say what actually happened. I genuinely do hope that he comes in and says, you know what, you lot down there don't know what you're doing. You lot down there think you're better than everyone else. And you know what? You're not. He come in and started saying we need 10 players. He come in and started taking the medical department. And here's Nurdin now, people. Nurdin, how are you, mate?
Oh my God, Saeed, I'm not going to lie to you. I swear to God, they ran. One ran that way towards the flats down there. The other one ran the other way.
Oh my God.
I'm in the space, but I've been in the space all day with my phone. Doing my thing, right? And I could hear the people speaking like, no, running. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Like, Saeed. I'm like, oh shit, I seen a missed call. Both of them, I've just got them both back on. They've been absolutely nightmares, Saeed. They're getting big.
You need to let them out, man. You need to let them out.
I don't, but bro, the road in it, massive road outside.
Yeah, you know what? It's true. That road as well down there.
It's saying, you know how the cars come around? You've seen that road, bro.
Yeah, the bend. Yeah. But big up to you, man. You're here. Big up to you. Big up to Rangnick was sacked because he spoke the truth in interviews about your board. That simple. By the way, big up to everybody here. 50K special. Nurdin, I want to thank you, man. You know what I mean? You've been a part of the journey from when we started in the yogurt shop, the fruit shop. Big up to you. Everybody will know. We started for the fruit shop. We had a load of Kuwaitis shouting. It was all manic. You know what I mean? Big up to the Kuwaitis. But listen, it was all manic. But big up to you, Nurdin. I want to thank you personally for helping me on the journey and everything you've done on the Straightjacket podcast. So
yeah, man.
Big up to you, bro.
It's all love. Listen, it's all love, man. Talk United, you know me. You can't shut me up, man, when it comes to football, innit? I'll talk. I'm doing my daily, my doing my bits of all day busy. and I'm still listening to a space on the headphones. Everybody thinks I'm listening to music.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, "Are you all right?" And I'm like, "No, Digay is not this. Digay is not that." And people are looking at me like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, sorry." You talking to? Everybody's like, "Who am I talking to?"
Big up to Big Steve in the chat. Said Gherkin King needed a change.
Yo, shout out the spaces, man. Shout out the space. Listen, Saeed, I'm gonna say it from the bottom of my heart, man. There is no grafter like you in this content creating space, man.
Yeah.
Because the biggest things are easy for you to clickbait people, like every other channel does. You know what I mean? You don't have to be explicit with your clickbaiting, but you just make it like, oh, look at this, look at that. You know what I mean? That's what you do. So big up, Tom.
Big up, Tom, man. You're better than our negotiating team. That's
yeah. Listen, big up, man. So big up to Saeed, man. Honestly, I know him in it, so I see it. I see the things that you don't see, guys. I see the graft. I see the sacrifice. I see it also. Big up, man. Congratulations, Don. You know what? Honestly, it didn't happen to a nicer person in it. With all the BS that you get as well. You know what I mean? To me, that's why I know the hate is real in it, because people never want to see people thrive in it.
Yeah, it's true. It's true, man. It's true. And you know what I mean? And it's almost as if, like, you know, I had a bit of enjoyment and then it's all just come crashing down because they've kind of just said to me, you know what, Saeed, you're not getting positive news. We're going to give you a bit of negativity now. And this club, I think, you know, they talk about fans thriving of negativity.
Get in the charger. Go ahead. I can hear you.
They say fans thrive of negativity. I think this club thrives on negativity. I genuinely do, man. It's almost as if they don't want us to succeed. I don't know what this board is here. I don't know if they're United fans. I don't know if you said John Merton's a Scouser, didn't you? I don't know if this guy's got links with Liverpool or whatever. Or you said Woodward was a Scouser, but I don't know yet. But these guys are the enemy of progress. They generally are. And people will look at and say, well, what's Ralph Rangnick done? But for me, Nurdin, this is where I want to start, Nurdin. You give a man a contract. You don't want to give him the director of football role because you want to give it to John Merton or whoever. But for me, when you say you want to give a consultancy role, and then 6 months into he's not even done his role, by the way. 6 months into his interim role, he says, right, now go to your real job. Now that they think that, you know what, we've gained out of you anything we need to do, it's like, you know what, see you later. See you later, Nurdin.
Listen.
That's what I don't understand.
Yeah. This is the bit. It's because, listen, the club can never communicate in an honest way. I put a tweet out, no word of a lie, in March. So what we are on now, we're nearly June in it, yeah? In March, the likes of Mike Ogden, Man United were running interference and giving their crony journalists that they leak stories to, saying that Ralph Rangnick wasn't going to complete it wasn't going to do anything in terms of what they bought him in. And they let us, this is the club, they led us on to believe Ralph Rangnick was coming in. And the reason why majority of the fan base got giddy was because we thinking he's going to help put a structure in. That was the number one role. We already knew that United wrote off the season, yeah? Obviously, the leaks and the dressing room being divided hasn't been. Now, obviously, then Ralph couldn't get his proper coaches that he wanted because for whatever reason, whether it's Brexit or whatever reason, they couldn't, and some of them didn't want to come because they didn't want to come for 6 months contract. So we have to dissect this bit by bit, slowly, forensically. We're gonna have to do it forensically, right? So these are all these combinations. Now the players did try to get his idea. Then they found out that they can't play to that level, and I was screaming, "Side, you know me. We did a Straightjacket podcast. It's all right there. That I said." The most important people are the fitness coaching people, and can he get his coaches in?
Yes.
I kept saying that. So that already was on a bad start, right? He was on a bad start. Some of the players are looking at him, calling him Specky and all of that, taking the mick, And then
Ted Lasso.
Yeah. So they're leaking already. So what happened then? And he is a guy who's not as flexible. He tried to be, but he's not. I always try to tell people, Ten Hag, so we talked about this. In 10 years, he's managed, right? He has managed in 10 years, like 80 or 90 games. That doesn't tell you he's not a coach. He's more about the structure of a football club, advising people. Now, let's go through it forensically, yeah? Manchester United interviewed, this is flat, John Murtagh, Darren Fletcher interviewed 4 people, Saeed. 4 people for the interim job. Not the main job, the interim job. I'm going to name them. Lucien Ferrer. Rudy Garcia. That Valde guy. You know the
Valverde.
Valverde. So I'll go again. Lucien Ferrer, Rudy Garcia, Valverde. And Ralph Rangnick. Out of all those three, Manchester United managed to pick the guy that has not coached the most in the last decade. So Luis Garcia is a good coach. Valde, from Barcelona. Everybody knows he's a good coach. And then Luis Garcia and Lucien Ferrer is a guy in France. I don't know that much about him, but apparently
I think he was managing. Yeah, but Rudy Garcia was managing Marseille, I think, before.
Yeah. So these guys came. They didn't come for the main. Listen, these guys were willing to walk away from their clubs to come for the interim, put themselves on the shop light to do well for 6 months, and then they don't have to stay at Man United because Man United made it clear already to Ralph Rangnick that they're going to go and look for another manager. Now, Ralph came in, and this is what people are playing on. Ralph, in his first press conference, said, well, maybe the club can give me a season. I'll manage a season till they find the right person. He said it with a smirk, yeah? People are taking that now going, he wanted that job. No. Look at what he done at RB Leipzig. He's the man that was in charge. He's like, I'll go down till we find the relevant guy. And Nagelsmann was the guy in it. At Schalke, he did exactly the same, Saeed. He stepped in and then he will move out, right? He steps in to help clubs out, but he go and focuses on the structure. Now, I don't know, even if you listen to what he was saying in 2020, what he was saying in 2021, you see what was happening with AC Milan, where he goes to clubs, big clubs who are failing, and I'm sorry, Saeed, but he tells them the truth, and some people don't like the truth, yeah? Now, Maldini was like, listen, that's a bit too much, you're disrespecting us, you don't know us as a culture and whatever, right? But Ralph Rangnick, Saeed, we talked about it. This guy, if people don't listen to him, what does he do, Saeed? Walks away.
Of course.
That's what he does. So, for me, when I put all of those different combinations, and every one of these combinations can be true or false, yeah? But this is what I see it. When the club in March are putting out these feelers out there that Rangnick ain't going to get is not going to get the... You
always knew.
Yeah, I said to you, didn't I? Off camera, I did say to you, didn't I?
I'm not sure about this role. Yeah, you said it.
I said it from day one.
You need to stop speaking, man.
Saeed, I'm not going to lie to you. Listen, I said, I don't know about this show because what did I say to you? I want it to be concrete and defined.
Yeah.
I want it to know exactly what he's going to do. And I said, and I also said it can go wrong if he doesn't bring his people in. If he doesn't bring his people, he can go wrong. But Saeed, who are we kidding? The club then now, using this propaganda media, well, it's mutual consent. You know, Saeed, that's the oldest language used when a club sacks a manager. You take it to everybody and their nan, and they'll tell you that manager's been sacked. You know why it's been sacked, Saeed? You know why nobody can argue at this? Because every manager says that, so they get the compensation paid out to them. So that contract that he signed with a consultancy is being done. Now, the club then, other than being honest and just say, listen, it's not worked out. And there's another reason as well. Another big reason where people are coming out is like ludicrous. It's like they're saying, well, Ten Hag didn't want him. Ten Hag, if you watch that press conference carefully, Ten Hag puts it back on the club. Because Ten Hag has already been told. Why would Ten Hag come out and go, yeah, I'm really looking forward to hearing from him. I'm looking forward to spending time with him. So he can give me. If the club already told Ten Hag, listen, he's gone. So Ten Hag just keeps it short, keeps it moving.
Keep it short. He goes, it won't be my final decision.
You know what? And also he didn't even say that side. He said, well, that's up to the club. He buying it back to the club. Like we're already gonna know. And I'm telling you guys now, I'm gonna predict something.
Don't, please, don't, please.
Yeah, I am. Anytime they ask him about certain things about the football structure and stuff like that, Ten Hag, he's always gonna say, go and ask the club. Because Ten Hag,
that's the best way to ask. Yeah, of course.
He's gonna do sugarcoating and stuff like that. He's not. He's gonna buy it back to the club. The reason why most of the fan base love Ten Hag is because nobody speaks. Not would ever give it interviews. They know that, Saeed, they get fucking statements prepared, written out by fucking Neil Ashton, written every word, and they just give it to the fucking Samuel Weckers and these.
That's my next question. Big up to you.
No, let me just finish this point. That's my last rant of the rant, okay? My point is that because nobody speaks and Ollie will just be like, fine margins, and the lads are all doing good. The lads trained well today. The lads trained well. We're all up for this game. Of course, we're up for it. All of that. Solskjaer didn't even want to talk about tactics. So when we have a guy who comes and faces the crowd, when he's asked a direct question, answers that instead of batting it away, because 17 years of ownership, we used to hear from Fergie. Ever since then, it's always the manager. Some of them lie, some of them will cover up, and then towards the end, it'll go crazy, innit? They all come out and just tell it as it is. But from day one, Ralph Rangnick's been honest.
Honest.
And you know what, Saeed? No, some people say, I'm like, or people go, no, he was honest because of his agenda. No, so why is he doing it from first? Okay, why is he doing it from press conference one? He's been consistent. You can't say this guy's not being consistent. And Saeed, that's why a lot of the fans have. And that's why I loved him, because I want somebody to burn the fucking place down and to rebuild. But at the end of the day, the club go, well, he's busy with the listen, you know what international football managers do, Saeed? They go and watch games. They prepare trainings when it's international week. Then they get the players for a week or two, sometimes for 5 days, and then they just do the work and then prepare them for the match.
You could have scouted Lima. They like the guy.
And then the other here I'm hearing, well, it's because like Romano is a shitbag. So Romano doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. I called him out a long time ago anyway. He's just a tapping merchant now. But even now, he's coming out with saying, you know what? It's the way, the idea. No, Ten Hag has worked with people before about player recruitment. He assesses the player himself. They give him the clips and the videos, and then he'll have a veto and say yes or no. But now they're saying, oh, it's because this is what Romano. That's what the club can't make their mind up. Who are you briefing? It's like 3-4 different things. Now they're saying, well, it's because Ten Hag. No, the club already told Ten Hag, Rangnick is not in our plans. We've moved on. They never specified exactly what he was consulting for. So, Saeed,
yeah, exactly.
How can I get angry and mad when I already knew what was coming? I'm
the same. But almost for me, big up to Michael O'Connor, by the way. I appreciate that. Big up Saeed and Nurdin. Love you guys. Love the show. Congrats on the 50K, mate. Onwards. I appreciate that. Big up to everybody who's here, man. Nearly 600 of you here. Please, guys, smash a like on the video. Helps with the algorithm. And make sure you subscribe to Nurdin's channel, man. Road to 10K for him. But Nurdin, for me, though, you know, I made a tweet today. I don't know if you've seen the tweet, but we had the best in class ready for us there, you know, in Paul Mitchell. And people can say, well, Paul Mitchell was only coming. He was almost inviting him. I said, you know what? Here's the blueprint. If you want the blueprint to success, Paul Mitchell was apparently was about to leave at the start of the the end of the season with Monaco. Now that he's changed his mind and he's actually staying, but that was almost a guess say, right, I'm a free if you want me. Paul Mitchell was free as well. Wasn't it free for 2 years ago? 3 years ago we wanted him. He was free then. And for me, my kind of aggro with all this is how dare Man United think that they're better than than Ralph Rangnick, a man who's seen it and done it, a man who's you actually can see what he's done at Leipzig and the model. You know where for me though it's gone wrong though? I think when Rangnick said, in terms of rebuilding and the club, he's talking about Hoffenheim and he's talking about these other clubs there. That's where I think the football club thought, hold on a minute, but we want to keep certain players at this football club. We want to keep Harry Maguire. We want to keep this. And it all comes back now to Glazeonomics, Nurdin, when you say about the player value in terms of they want to keep it and they want to hold onto the value of players at this football club. That's what it comes down to, Nurdin. All these comments about needing 10 players, recruitment, in terms of psychology, in terms of player welfare, in terms of injury record. They didn't like this because they're thinking to themselves, we can't sack everyone, Nurdin. They can't sack everyone. And that's what it comes down to, Nurdin. These lot have absolutely messed up. And for me, people can say Ten Hag can do it all on himself, but I'm sorry, man, he can't, Nurdin. I'm wise enough and I'm man enough to admit, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, if it had got more kind of help in the recruitment team, maybe things would have been different. I'm man enough to understand that. He wasn't a good manager, but at least he needed help to do it. I've seen Mourinho fail. I've seen Van Gaal fail. I've seen... Who else has failed, Nurdin? David Moyes has failed. So many managers, Nurdin, have come and gone. And you're telling me John Murtough and Darren Fletcher are the key to the success for Ten Hag to be better forward? I'm sorry, it's not happening.
Listen, it's simple, right? It's absolutely simple, right? The idea for me, I'm not, you know why? I'm not that devastated as a lot of people would think I would have been. I loved Ralph's honesty and I will forever be grateful for that. Some people go, oh, that was self. You could say that. Two things can be true. Well, when the shit hit the fan and players are calling him specky and all that, taking the mick out of him, and players do what they do, right? when it all came to fall apart, he couldn't, because he didn't bring his coaches with him. But like I said, I explained to you guys, they interviewed 4 guys and they picked Ralph Rangnick, who had the least coaching experience. Then they promised him a role within a football structure. Now that's not come to be. And I kept asking, what is it? I said to you, Saeed, on that day we spoke, I said to you, I want more details about exactly, because I know these guys, they will always go back behind the guy's back. At the end of the day, it's simple.
Yeah,
I am not too actually worried that he's gone, because I think maybe it might be good for the club, like because then you know what? Listen, Saeed, listen.
You know what? I get what you mean.
Saeed, hear me out.
I'm happy he's gone actually now.
Yeah. Listen, yeah. I'm happy that he's gone, because they would have blamed him if the shit would have hit the fan.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, oh, it's all Rangnick. Rangnick suggested these guys, and his Rangnick's play, and that's why they would have briefed against him. But he was going to be a consultant. I just want to explain that any of you guys are consultants. You may have friends who are consultants. You might have parents who are consultants. Consultants, Saeed, only give advice. The advice is only good if the organization or the institution or the football club is willing to take it and listen. That is all it is. So I am not too worried. I don't think the whole world's going to fall apart because Rangnick has not got that, because I never expected it anyway. I knew already that it was all a buster.
Then do we trust Myrtle to do a job on his own when he doesn't have the experience to do it?
What did I say to you when Ronaldo came another season, Ollie, when you were like, oh, what did I say to you? Saeed, hold tight. It will all be revealed very soon.
Right, let me ask you a question, Nurdin. How does John Myrtle look in all of this when he's the one that brought Rangnick in as a consultancy for 2 years? How does he look now when they portray him as a person we can gain experience from? How does he look, John Myrtle, now? He gave Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a new contract. He was part of that process. And now he's part of the process that I've said to Ralph Rangnick, you can go. How does John Myrtle look in all of this?
He's failing. At this moment in time, the 2 biggest things you ask the question, if we're all going to be honest, I know even the only thing I would say, he has to work with the latest perimeters. And the reason why he's doing what he's doing is because he's the inside guy, Saeed. And what we found out is that Man United are never having a director of football that's an external guy, because they can't do it. They always have to have an inside guy whose job's for the boys, who knows how to work within the Glazonomics perimeters, bikers and Glazonomics perimeters. So that's what I say to him. John Myrtle, if you don't want to be part of the firing squad, get out of the way and just leave the football club. Go and get a job somewhere else. But I'm sorry, when you get given the title as a director of football, every decision that's made structurally is going to be scrutinized, and I will scrutinize you. Not that I am scrutinizing you personally. I don't care if you're from Liverpool. Some people go, he's from Liverpool. Some guy in the Spaces a couple of months back tried to just do a mad one. I don't know where. I think he might have been a City fan, this guy. I think this guy was pretending to be a United fan. Or this guy was like, yeah, I went to school with John Myrtle. John Myrtle. I'm like, Saeed, I've been researching the hell out. I've been asking people who are in the same age bracket who went to the school, Wright Robinson, yeah? That's what this guy told me on the Space, yeah? Wright Robinson. He's from Longside. You know me, Saeed. Tell the audience. It's not me and you walking down the road. Is it not people I don't know, many people I don't know? I'm not big enough.
We call it the bus stop. We call it the bus stop.
This is because I know people, and I've been trying to find out if he is from Manchester. He's not. He's from Liverpool. All of the things that I see, he's a Liverpoolian guy. So this guy was just running interference for John Myrtle in the Space, and that's what we found out. But the biggest thing is this, Saeed, is that now John Myrtle now is the guy in power. It's not Mark Judge anymore. We can't give Ed Woodward any problems anymore. It's him and Richard Arnold. They come together like bread and butter. So if one of them's getting the blame, the other's getting the blame, because don't take the job. If you can't stand the heat, Saeed, get out of the kitchen. That saying exists. So this Myrtle people, Myrtle madness and that, you interviewed 4 people and you recommended that the club hires Ralph Rangnick. Ralph Rangnick's not coached for 10 years almost, other than stepping here and there.
So they gave the season out already. So basically, you're trying to say they almost gave in for the season. If they hire Ralph Rangnick for the end of the season when he's not managed in so many games, they basically said, we don't care about the season.
Exactly. And the fact that when they interview 3 other capable managers who have been managing and coaching more than Ralph Rangnick is a specialist at working with a structure.
And then now when he's about to do that, Nurdin, what happens? They ace him.
Saeed, but they had
don't make
Saeed, they had this from the beginning. They played him and they played us, Saeed. They played him and they played us, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it didn't go well. You wrote up the season already.
It's back to square one for me. No, I'm sorry, man. It's back to square one.
No, Saeed, listen to me. At the moment, so 2 questions you asked. Murta it's like now, if he gets a third thing wrong, Saeed, then it's a wrap for him. Me personally,
right.
Right. Yeah.
My question is, Nurdin, what's the pattern that's been for the last 9 years since Alex Ferguson has retired? What's been the pattern? Every manager's been what, Nurdin?
Hang behind his back.
Been sacked.
Tied.
Why? People in the comments, why has every manager been sacked? Because you know why? A, of course, they're not good enough. But also B, for them to thrive in Nurdin, there hasn't been structure. I've come up on it on the Straightjacket podcast. I've called out every manager and said, you know what? Then I've started to look at it. I've started to understand it. I've started to listen to people. You've been included as well. You call yourself Mr. Structure. I started to understand why our managers just getting sacked. Why? Yes, they've been a bad manager, but there's also been underlying problems, and that's because for a football club to thrive on, you have to have the right structure. And you're telling me a structure containing John Myrtle and Darren Fletcher is why Man United are going to get back from here to the top. I'm sorry, I just don't buy into it. And for me, that's why I look at it and I think it's just more hope than anything. I'm hoping that they get it right. There wouldn't be anything more that I would love if this football club did things right. But yet again, they're not learning from their mistakes. That's where the problem is. And we don't want to have an issue where people are calling the manager out. I personally won't call the manager out because I know there's bigger problems now. I've opened my eyes up to think it's bigger than just a manager. So if it's bigger than just a manager, so why don't you just go and get the best people in place? That's what I say. Big up to Sophie. I just want to read Sophie's comment before I get a super chat. Big up to Sophie. She goes, time will tell in terms of Ralph. We got to trust Ten Hag now. We know we have been for ages. Everything above is a mess. This just made us look even more foolish. For once, I thought we had a plan. Exactly. And I just want to read Victor Liang. Big up to you. Big up to Nurdin and Saeed. Big up my brother Saeed, 50k on YouTube. Love, bro. Appreciate that, man. He goes, we are not going to win and watch Ten Hag to be fired after 3 years. The team all about player power and Nurdin until we get the bankers out, Glazers out. Strong message, Nurdin. Absolutely strong message.
Yeah, of course.
Ex-Evertonian staffer Murgut has made us mid-table. Well, listen, uncomfortable conversations, mate. I'm sapped. Yo, listen, Statman, I'm going to deal with him, man. Statman on Thursday, I'm going to give him a lesson because for me, he's coming up with all some nonsense, mate. And I think the fan base have got a bit crazy. They're almost saying, well, what did Ralph Rangnick do? But his job wasn't to bring top 4 to Man United, though, was it? Was it? Yes or no? And I said to Statman Bays, yeah, he said to me, yeah, has it been a failure on Ralph Rangnick if we don't get top 4? And I said to him, no, because ultimately the football club have been a failure. And they're almost saying to Ralph Rangnick, who's not managing in years, to get us into top 4. How?
Saeed, just ask Murta. Ask Murta. You might actually call Statman Murta.
That's what I'm going to call him.
You can't call it Saeed. Change his number. You know his number on your phone. Change it to Statman Murta. That's what you got to do.
I'm going to say Statman Murta, mate.
Listen to me, Saeed. Ask him.
Let's go back to my point, though.
Saeed, ask him why, out of the 4 people, why did they pick him when they knew he coached the left? And he was a guy that would always speak his mind. This is no secret about Ralph Rangnick. Ralph Rangnick, like people are shocked. Ralph Rangnick speaks his truth. He doesn't give a damn. He's been in football. He's walked away from football clubs because he scouted a player. He wanted to bring him in and they said, no, he can't. But he's like, okay, see you later. He's done that before. Like
this comment here, this is what I was saying. No, you're not gonna agree with me, but this is my whole point. If we're gonna do this whole game of long-term project, so why didn't you just go and get Conte from the minute? No, do you get my point though? If you were saying that you're not a long-term, you're not a short-term club. So why have you not gone Conte then? Because Conte would have got top 4, and Conte would have won maybe a trophy or 2.
Saeed,
Conte done that?
Saeed, but the biggest thing they didn't want Conte. I didn't. You know what the reason why I didn't want Conte? You know the reason.
I get that. I get, but I'm talking about the club, though.
No, yeah. But the reason why they didn't want, that's the most hilarious thing. You know, the most hilarious thing is that they didn't want Conte because Conte would have called them out. But Rangnick has done that. Sorry, Ralph Rangnick has done that anyway. It's like it doesn't matter. It's like they didn't do any research on Ralph Rangnick. Again, they didn't do research. And people like Danny, I love Danny and I respect him. He says they were panicking, and in that panic, they just got Ralph. I'm like, but they interviewed 3 of the guys who coached.
Yeah, they panicked.
Like, but why? Why don't you look? So all you have to do is Google. I swear to God, Man United, you're telling me there's nobody at Man United Football Club that can just Google Ralph Rangnick being fiery and telling truth and speaking what he feels is his truth, and Ralph Rangnick walking away from clubs when they didn't listen to him, right? That's all there. It's in Google. It's basic Google. So I'm sorry, but I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. But that is the basic thing to do. Why are you panicking then? Because that means you're not the right person to be making these selections. You're not. You're not. And it's simple because look, Saeed, the people who are on a Murder Madness, they want them to give him credit what he did for the women's the first time.
I give him credit for that one.
I give him credit. Listen to me. I give him credit, right?
For the
academy. So now, when he's stepping up, and me and you are saying, he has to work with other people who've done this job before, right? Because Man United is complex, yeah? It's a complex little big club and it's political things. But when he gets the things wrong, all of a sudden, every fucking excuse under the sun. So 1 minute, you want him to praise him, but then it's like you want to have your cake and fucking eat it. No, when he does wrong, you've got to come out and say he made a mistake here. Just clear. That's it. It's about opinion.
That's
no
it.
Excuses.
But it's not about opinion, though, is it? It's about their opinion. That's what it's about. It's about their opinion and whether it kind of, goes against their principles and the fact that the Glazonomics and whatnot. And for me, like I said to you, I think there is a dictatorship. I think there is a feeling amongst the club that you have to do it this way. And I'm sorry, man. I've seen this time and time again, man. This is why I can't get my hopes up on Ten Hag. I obviously, we want every manager to come in and do well, but I've just seen the pattern time and time again. And it's almost as if, for me, it's written all the time. How many players are leaving? How many players are this? So are we going to say John Myrtle's going to... By the way, John Myrtle's giving contracts out, by the way. You know that, Nurdin? He's giving out contracts, by the way, when Oliver Solskjaer was in charge.
Saeed, it's Glazonomics. Of course he is, because that's what the Glazers want. It's called book value. It's called keeping them like as an asset. And then, you know what they do? They use like complex financial instruments. All our signings, guys. That's the worrying thing. I just want to, honestly, I don't want to break this to you guys. I don't want to bring you any more bad news. But our transfers are done, Saeed, with banking instruments like a bank. That's why it takes us to sign players, because we need to loan. We don't use that. The Glazers don't use the money they make from the club to sign players. They get bank loans. That's why we're always waiting for the transfer.
Adi, man. Adi, you've been on my channel for a while, man. Come on, man. You say to me here, you're just stressing yourselves out for nothing, Nurdin. Ten Hag is a main man and he's happy with the structure.
I hope you're right.
No, let me read it all out. It's only right. Why the negativity? Ten Hag wouldn't have taken the job if the structure sucks. Well, I'm sorry. No, I don't think any manager would have took the job. Every manager, when you come into it, you have an open mind. And then what happens after that? You start to see where the football club is rotten. And then you wanna leave. So for me, Adi, it's, and also a manager's not going to come in and say, well, the club's rotten, is it? He has to have to see for himself. And Ralph Rangnick came in and saw for himself how bad this football club is. So if Ralph Rangnick's seen, when he came into the football club, you come in, he's very optimistic. He says, right, we can do this and we could do that. We have a lot of, good players here. Then you start saying, right, training ground. You start to see recruitment. Then you start to see the players. And then after that, everything comes out. And he just thought, you know what? I have to expose the truth. I can't just come on here. And as a man, I've been doing this for 20 odd years, to come in here and just be like, you know what? Man United is beautiful. Man United is there's no problems with Man United. There isn't. And maybe you're optimistic than me about this football club, but they've done it time and time again. Even when you look at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer being a bad manager, like there's certain things that they could have done better. in terms of Cristiano Ronaldo and a midfielder. Why didn't they go and get him a CDM? I'm not trying to almost blame it on every manager, but you got to understand, why have 8 managers failed or 6 managers failed that have come into the football club? Why have they failed? There has to be a pattern. There has to be a reason for it. We've not won any trophies for 5 years. All of a sudden, Ten Hag's going to win us trophies. It's not. There has to be a structure to win. There has to be some foundation to win. And that foundation, for me, I'll be honest with you, could have been Ralph Rangnick to stabilize the football club. Okay, after 2 years, you can sack him and you can say, you know what? Go. We don't need your help anymore. But at least have him for the start of his contract. And that's the saddest thing about it, Nurdin. He didn't even start the role. That for me is the worst thing about it all. And I think for me, ultimately, that's the biggest disappointment, Nurdin. He didn't start his role. If he at least started his role 6 days a month, whatever the consultancy rules was, at least let him start the role. And then if you think he's good enough, then you say, right, sack him. He's not good enough. I don't want him. His ideas are not that great, to be honest with you. But at least let him start the role. But again, what happens is people think that they're better than what they are. People think that they know better. John Myrtle thinks that he knows better. So,
listen, I've just shared a thing for my show at 6:30, so please just retweet it.
Yeah, I will do.
Listen, Saeed, it's simple.
Like at 6:30.
Yeah, Saeed, listen, it's simple. Saeed, it's simple. At the end of the day, I'm still going to try to be hopeful, little hopeful about Ten Hag. Saeed, what have I always said to you?
Yeah, can I just read this?
What have I always said to you?
Stephen Jervis, big up to you, bro. I appreciate that, man. Like I said to you, that's very, very much love. Well done on reaching 50K. As I'm not there to celebrate with you, have a meal on me. Love that, bro. I appreciate it. You get me? Big up to you.
What about my meal? What about me, lad? Where's my meal? Where's my
Yo, listen, you're part of the meal, man. Don't worry about that. That's the meal's on me.
You know what? Now listen, the meal's on me. Seriously, you know what? Big up Stephen Jarvis, man. Love to Stephen Jarvis, man. Listen, love to Stephen Jarvis, man. Seriously, because Saeed, as many haters that are out there, they're overwhelmed by the love. So that's what you got to remember, innit? The love that you have in your community. You know what I mean? Yeah. Saeed TV community. So it's all good. This is the biggest thing. Saeed, the other thing for me is that I want to be hopeful because the only thing, Saeed, I've said to you since the day that Ten Hag was announced is what? I've said to you, in 3 to 4 months, I expect the football to be better. That's it. Yeah. I said that's all I'm expecting. I know Man United don't have the structure yet to go and compete, right, for the big trophies. I know that for a fact. Now, they might surprise us all, Saeed. They might put a structure in the next 3 to 4 years that will get us to compete.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
Have we seen the fruits of that? Have we seen?
No, we haven't. But the biggest thing I'm only looking forward to with Ten Hag is that hopefully, and this is the only thing, because I know that he's a tracksuit wearing coach like Van Gaal, positioning players. We will play better football and we won't be embarrassed like we've been embarrassed this season. Yeah. That's the only thing. But a lot of those players have to go. And for that to happen, he still needs to get at least 4 players plus Van der Beek in his first team to play the system that he wants to play.
And who helps with that? Who helps with that?
The Murta and these guys. So I don't know what they're going to do.
You know, Nurdin, let me ask you a question, right? When he talked about player recruitment, Ralph Rangnick, and he talked about having specific players for specific styles of play, do you think that's what kind of made Ten Hag not want him? In terms of he thought gegenpress and, you know, that kind of style of football is not what he wanted Ten Hag. Because I'm hearing Ten Hag had a 2-hour phone call with Ralph Rangnick. Ten Hag was very, very, you know, he wanted to know the ins and outs of the football club. Do you think on the other side of it, because we have to also bring the other side of the argument, do you think there was a clash in, I would say, ideas, a conflict of interest from both parties? Because I don't believe there was. And I ultimately think, for me, as a manager, you can control certain parts of the football club, but you also need help, bro. Like, everybody need help. Like, I can't say to me on this channel, I don't need anybody or whatever, or I don't need graphics person, or I don't need this person. I need help. Everybody needs help along the way. Unless you're Superman.
There's a team behind this, isn't it? There's a team. And to me, the most telling thing for me was his Erik Ten Hag's first press conference when he's talking about, he never says I. He only talks about how I want my football team to play. When he talks about the coach in the team, he talks about himself. But other than that, he talks about us, me on the club and the good people in the club. He talks about them as a team, Saeed. So at the end of the day, I said this to you already. From the press conference, I'm only putting this on in real life situations. You know, when the club tells you, listen, that guy that is supposed to be getting the consultancy is not going to be a consultant anymore. When you're asked that question in a press conference, you're going to be quicker to shut it down because you're like, ask the club. He's like, that's up to the club. So he's not falling out with him because he didn't even meet him. Ralph Rangnick told us the club were already, when people are asking, have you met Ten Hag yet? He's like, no, because the club have been keeping them separate. Why? Because they were ready to sack Ralph Rangnick and they didn't want him anywhere near what? Ten Hag. I'm sorry, but you don't have to be Inspector Clouseau or Columbo to figure that out.
Yeah.
You don't have to figure it out.
Big up to YUFC. Big up Saeed and man Nurdin. Keep up the fantastic work. This Yassid said, by the way, Nurdin. Apparently it was Yassid, the one that said about the maybe the school that he went to, John Myrtle. People who are running the football club are arrogant, ignorant people. Big up to my guy, Tommy goes, Saeed. Ralph wanted to keep Ten Hag, of which why was the media spitting out Ralph wasn't going to stay when we had 5 games to go. Listen, for me, like I said to you, I just want to know. I want to know if there's going to be a plan to the method with Ten Hag. That's all I want to know, Nurdin. Is there going to be a sustain? Because we're not dealing with small clubs. We're dealing with Man City, Liverpool, who are far away from us. We're dealing with Leicester, who are getting structure. We're dealing with Newcastle, who are getting what's the guy from Brighton?
Dan Ashworth. They already got a director now.
We're not just dealing with if we're dealing with just managers. Well, we're dealing with Conte.
Look at Villa. Done their season already. They signed 3 players. If you want to believe,
manager for manager, Nurdin, Ten Hag can cope with. I think Guardiola, Klopp. If you're looking at tactics here, I think Ten Hag. I'm confident. But come on, you need to have the tools to succeed. You need to have the foundation. Do you think Guardiola does everything by himself? There's that guy, Soriano. There's a guy.
Saeed, there's a head of recruitment from Barcelona, and there's another guy from. They're like 2 of them, both of them from Barcelona.
Yeah, and Soriano.
Yeah, both. One is a director of football. The other one's head of recruitment and operations. And then they've got another guy who's from what's his name? The guy who is like the represents the Dubai lot. He works closely with them as well. You know, the guy, the chairman.
Yeah, Calvin Mubarak. Yeah.
Those 3 are like that with Guardiola. It's a team. Then there's other people that we're not even aware of. We don't know their names, Saeed. Saeed, what were you saying before? The guy who was in the space is who? What did somebody say?
I think it's YUFC said something about the guy who was called Yasser. This Yasser said that, by the way.
So what he said?
Yeah, Yasser. I don't know the guy. I'm presuming he's talking about the space of the guy who said to me that John Myrtle was from that school.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
So again, like I said to you, I just think for me, if you want to compete for the major honors, which everybody does, nobody doesn't want to win the Carabao Cup, by the way. So you want to win the biggest cups in Europe, and you want
to win the FA Cup, though. Say put respect on that.
Again, like I'm just trying to say to you, if you want to win cups, and you want to win success, I just look at it and think, why don't you just go and get Conte then? Why, if you're thinking about short term? And you took Rangnick and said, you know what, we don't want him now. Then why don't you just go and get him? Why don't you just go and get the best manager available?
100%, Saeed. 100%. 100%.
It doesn't make sense. It's football club.
Saeed, listen, he's called them out anyway. He did what Conte would have done. But to me, the biggest thing about Conte is that he does the intensity, he gets them winning, and then he's got
what happened on Nurdin? You know, this is why for me, 2 football clubs are so different. He made a statement saying, well, I don't know what's going on here. He wanted to leave. And then who did they go and get in January? Kulusevski and who? And Bentancur. Bentancur. And then what happened after that? They're now top 4. Because, again, he confronted the board. Yeah, big up to you, George.
He's working with an operator called Parasici, a director of football, who's also worked with an Italian, who's an Italian guy. Who understands. Yeah,
to understand. And to
be fair to Space, they've always had interesting directors or head of recruitment guys. They've always had that.
Yeah. Osman Burke said, need Nurdin and Big Steve on a video together soon. Yeah, man, that'll be box office, man. We'll try and get that happen, man. You know what I'm saying to you? But like I said to
you.
you,
The only thing I'll say, listen, I'm not going to lie to you. The only thing I'll say to Steve, you won your 4th league in 5 years. And you know what? I've got my windows open. I was cycling around town. And you know what? I can just hear like a little buzzing, buzz, like a bee. That's how much you took over the city. 20,000 empty seats. You're having a laugh. I know how to put City fans in their place, mate.
Like
I'll bring the blind
your energy, man. I've gone past that, man.
I'm bringing a blind dog. Saeed, I'm bringing a blind dog.
You're bringing, yeah,
turkey, man. How did you cook turkey, man? Was it nice cooking turkey?
Yeah, listen, it was nice, man. Arsenal back to where they were.
It wasn't even Christmas, Saeed, and you still cooked turkey, yeah? It wasn't.
And I won the league as well. I won the league, by the way, the Big Six league. Big up to everybody, man. I won the league. Big up to Russ Mack, man. It's been a while.
What did you get? I hope that was a prize.
Yeah, the prize. Yeah, it was cash prize actually. So I'm gonna be giving a giveaway soon. You know what I'm saying? So big up to everybody who's watching, man. Big up to Russ Mack. Goes pathetic joke of a circus club. Rio the clown must be happy Ralph has gone. There's no change at the circus, and Eric Ten Hag will be sacked in 2 years.
Do you think, Saeed? Do you think Rio Ferdinand to come out and say that about a manager, a Man United that's going to get a... Listen, Rio Ferdinand knew, because Richard Arnold is his boy. He knows, Saeed. So this is what I'm trying to tell people. Rio Ferdinand already knew that. That's why he can come out and diss Ralph Rangnick like that. Try to embarrass him, right? This is that madness, Saeed, that goes on in this football club.
Shout out to LD172, man. There's an overreaction. You're right,
man. Listen to me. To me, you know what? What's it? Listen, LD172.
No, he's right. No, he's right. We're overreacting, man.
No. You know what? I'm not overreacting. You know what I'm overreacting to? LD127. I'm overreacting to how the club sets a narrative to play the fans. That's what I'm getting angry at, because I have to call it out. I'm sorry. If they just would have said Ralph Rangnick's tenure didn't work, we wanted him to coach this way, what he said to the club is disrespectful.
Have they given us a reason, by the way?
I would understand that. Say that again.
Have they given us a reason why he's actually left?
Yeah. Saeed, they put it out to the cronies so he can focus on Austria like it's a club side. Austria hardly ever qualify for these big tournaments anyway.
Oh my gosh!
When was the last time you see Austria in the World Cup? Quite a bit ago.
They're just Euros. They're more Euros.
So this madness that they put it out. Oh, Ralph, Mike. That's why they put it out to their cronies. But Mark Ogden and that Dawson guy, who both do for ESPN,
they all work for the club, man. They all work. I'm sorry, I don't trust the journalists, man.
Listen, they were giving the information. These guys that Rangnick was not gonna get this consultation. Saeed, I told you that. I said to you. From the beginning,
I tried to believe, I tried to believe.
I can't overreact, right? LD172, I can't overreact because I already knew this was a sham.
People that called me negative, Nurdin, I was so positive about that, innit? I was like shouting, United are gonna be, we're getting back to where I tried to encourage the process.
Saeed, you think I want to be right? Saeed, do you think I want to be right when people call me negative more than most?
Nobody wants to be right, mate. You know, especially for what do you gain out of that, Nurdin? You don't.
I want the club to thrive, but I'm telling you guys, I said if he doesn't bring his coaches in, especially the fitness guys in, when this is gonna fail. But we already had a broken four-way split in the dressing room anyway.
Yeah. This is what I mean. You know what I mean? Big up to you. Focus on Austria. Joke. He will work 10 weeks of the year. Shocking decision. Again, you know, when you even look at this consultancy role, to ask a man to work 6 months a year, is there no roles in the club, do you reckon, Nurdin? Is there actually no roles for Rangnick to go into? Like, how many people are in this kind of, hierarchy? When at Chelsea, they have about 10 people. They have Petr Cech, they have Marino, they have somebody else.
And they also have a company, a consultancy company, whose agents and different people who were coaches and that set up together, who were all these years advising Ibrahimovic about what players to buy, like recruitment guys who were just what to buy.
Maldini's come in and done a job at AC Milan. They won the title. So it can be done, Nurdin. It can be done.
Saeed, listen to me. At the end of the day, Saeed, but what people are not forgetting, it always comes back to what? And now in the spaces, they go, water is sweat, telling us the Glazers are bad as water sweat. I'm telling you how bad they are, but you don't want to hear how bad they are. But it comes back to them. Now, Saeed, they're using financial banking instruments. We're not a football club. They use banking instruments. That's why we can give David De Gea 350 grand. We can give the goalkeeper number 2 over 100 and something 50 grand.
Yeah.
We give in world football, no number 2 goalkeeper is on the money Henderson's on. Go and find me the one. Go and find me one that's on the same money as Henderson. This is what, you know why?
Henderson's on 80 grand a week.
Saeed, do you know why? Saeed, do you know why? Book value is an instrument they use to look the duration of the player's contract. That is what, and the wages, they take that into consideration. That's why they do that. It's part of the Glazonomics that also holds the stocks, because that the players becomes the asset, and they write it as an asset. Footballer, not on the pitch. They write the contract of that footballer as an asset, and then they do banking stuff. I think it's illegal. Some of it is illegal for me. I don't know how it's legal, right? They do it so then they can just drip feed a bit of money here and there in the long term to save money. Now, if they stop that side, you know what? For a season, they won't be able to sign players. I'll take it. I'll take it. Chelsea were banned for 2 years from signing players. I'd rather let Deadwood go and give some of the youngsters a chance, right? Than sign expensive players, but they don't want to do that. So go on.
I'm also noting Ralph Rangnick didn't bring the youngsters in for a reason, because they're not ready. But apparently John Myrtle's sorting out the academy. But he's thinking, how can you get the academy into the first team? Because this football club has a propaganda that we should produce always the next Scott McTominay, that we should always get the next coming of Roy Keane, that we should also give Rashford more time. They didn't like the fact that Rashford was on the bench, by the way, and had Ilanga showing him up. Because again, it's the club propaganda, in it. There's so much things going on with this football club, and people need to open up their damn eyes. Yeah, people you need to open up your eyes, mate. Because I looked at it in short-sightedness, and I thought, you know what, manager, let's get the best manager available. Let's get this, let's get that. It's not going to work, people. I've done it. I learned in here. Go watch the old podcast, people. I was like, nah, but we don't need no structure to win. We can go get the best manager in the world and we'll win the title. It can happen. No, it won't, people. I'm sorry. You lot that think that. I'm sorry. I'm here to tell you it won't happen. Until you get a right structuring, until you get people in that can do their job. Not people that have been doing another job for 10 years. And all of a sudden, you're the best director of football there's about because you've been working at this football club for 10 years. NYC Rat says, I love this team, but I feel like a clown watching every Sunday. A team full of clowns. Listen, they're all clowns, mate. From bottom to top, mate. They're all clowns. Lol, bro, AC Milan have Maldini. The circuit has Darren Fletcher. This isn't an overreaction. This is reality. And Mourinho was right from day one. I know you've got a bad affiliation with Mourinho, but he was right, man. They haven't really messed anything up. They haven't really, kind of done anything for this football club. And there's no urgency to improve. There isn't. It's almost as if they're relaxed about the ongoing kind of problems at Man United. It's almost as if, for me, I've always thought it, man. They feel like they've got too much credit in the bank. They feel like, you know what, Fergie's done a lot and has achieved a lot. But we're moving so far away from the top. We're actually creeping into the mid-table time. Like, I'm being deadly serious, man. There's no guarantee of Man United reaching top 4 next season. There isn't. Whether you think Ten Hag can come in and you can wave a magic wand, it's not going to happen until...
They think he's a miracle worker. I swear to God. They think he's a miracle. Listen, I know Man United are going to play better football. I know Man United are going to play... By playing better football, we're going to win more games because we're going to play better football. We're going to play more front.
I know that. I understand that. But it's short-term fix, though, that. Because then, when you want to get to finals and when you want to get to certain situations, and when you start to have a decline in the season where it's a massive, massive drop-off and players are moving like flies and everyone's getting injured all at once. Because why? Because, again, the injury department hasn't been sorted out. And who was advocating for that, Nurdin? Who was advocating for that, Nurdin? Ralph Rangnick. People, we're going to wrap up the podcast here, people. Guys, there's literally 900 of us here, man. I want everybody after this, by the way, to come on United Real Therapy. We're going to discuss. What are you discussing, by the way?
We're discussing. I put up a thing about a team in it, and
by the way, I've got some video to play for you, Nurdin. That might shock you. So you might want to delve into that video in your podcast.
Yeah. Listen,
people, because there's certain other channels, mate, that are setting propagandas out, and you know what? They need to be exposed. So listen, people.
I think I'm about to see that video, Saeed. But listen,
listen, you're about to see that video. People, go on Twitter right now. There's a video going around. apparently one lunatic is talking absolute madness, but it doesn't surprise me, innit? Because this is what these channels do, man. They're paid by media corporations, and they get their positions because they work with the club, man. And it's as simple as that, people. You know what I'm saying? You're never going to see me step foot in Old Trafford because there's a reason, because at the end of the day, I call out the club. But it is what it is, people. But anyway, people, please like the video. Guys, please like the video. I genuinely mean that. Please like the video. Subscribe if you're new. It's a road to 100k. It's a road to 10k for Nurdin. But please, on your way out, like the video, subscribe to the channel. And yeah, man, we're out, people. This club just never learns. It never learns.